Hey everyone, what's up? Um, I had a little break from streaming, but we're back. We are going to continue with the book, formalizing a course in constructive algebra. And last time we finished section 1.2, and today we're gonna continue with section 1.4. Section 1.3 is about the axiom of choice, which I already formalized. It's in the library. So there's no reason to go over that. And a bunch of category theory is also already formalized, but we're just gonna see in this section what's new. What should still be done, because I saw a few things mentioned in the book that we still have to put in the library. So let me just quickly put out the announcement on Twitter and on Discord so that people know that we're here. Share it, followers, publish. This message will be sent. Should be okay. Cancel. Alrighty. Think we're good to go. Just pull up the Twitch chat for people who might be coming in. Oh, good to see some people already joined. Very nice. Hello everyone. How's your day going? Say hello in chat. Yeah, we're gonna be formalizing today. Again, after a little break. And I also want to say that if you have any questions about formalization, you can post them in the chat. I'll try to answer them, or any questions about univalent mathematics. This is a perfect chance to ask them and get some answer. Okay. Cool. And another new thing is that in this stream we are going to make a milestone on Twitch, which I'm very excited about. One more stream was all we needed to become a Twitch affiliate. So that will get us to the next level as a Twitch streamer. And yeah, I'm very excited. The channel actually has grown faster than I could have anticipated, which of course is extremely exciting, and we get to grow. And of course that's only possible because you guys are joining. So thank you so much for being here. Let's pull up the book. All right. So book should be in the stream. Cool. So this is section 1.4 of the book, A Course in Constructive Algebra. And it's going to be about categories. And it starts off with something else. Of course, so it says the collection of binary sequences forms a set because we know what it means for two binary sequences to be equal. And given two groups or sets, on the other hand, it is generally incorrect to ask if they are equal. The proper question is whether or not they are isomorphic, or more generally, what are the homomorphisms between them. Now, of course, this book was written in the 80s. I think it was published in 1988, and they did not have any notion of univalence back then. So So yeah, in the old point of view, in category theory, you wouldn't typically ask about equality of objects, only about isomorphism of objects. But in univalent mathematics, we can, and we definitely do that. And this is possible because every type has an identity type, and in particular, the universe has an identity type, and the univalence axiom characterizes the identity type of the universe. And as a consequence of univalence, equality of sets is equivalent to isomorphisms of sets in the category of all sets, and equality of groups is equivalent to isomorphisms in the category of groups. So we can very definitely speak about equality equality of sets and groups or rings and so on. But of course, the catch is that there are more than one way for two sets to be equal. In particular, for every isomorphism, we will have an identification. And in the world where equality is a proposition, so this book is written in constructive set theory, where equality is supposed to be a proposition, there indeed it would be incorrect to ask when two sets are equal, because that proposition doesn't really make any sense whatsoever. This is why indeed in the chat we have now a question: is that about the pre-category structure mentioned in the library? And indeed it is. So in a pre-category, let's go to the file about pre-categories. Oops, category theory, pre-categories. So what they call a category in this book is what we are going to call a pre-category. And a pre-category, let's compile this. It consists of a type of objects, and for every two objects xy in the type of objects, we will have a set of morphisms. And here it's important to note that this is not going to be a general type, but it's assumed to be a set. And then a composition operation, which will be associative and has an identity, which satisfies unit laws, left and right unit laws. And here, indeed, we don't put any condition on the identity type of the type of objects. It might have nothing to do so much with the isomorphisms. Now, in the definition of a category, we are going to add an extra axiom, which is typically not assumed in any classical text on category theory that you might find. This is the condition that is also known as rest completeness, but in the library we just call it is category. So pre-category is a category if for each object in the category, so for each object x here, and for each object y, the map that sends an equality to an isomorphism, which you can always do. So there's this canonical map that goes from x equals y to iso xy in the category C. Let's write this informally. That this map is an equivalent. So it's very similar to the univalence axiom, but for categories. This condition is also called rest completeness. And when we speak about categories, we will assume that this condition holds. So in our formalization, the notion of category is slightly different than what they use in the book, but we are of course gonna still keep up with with the material of the book. Okay, so let's continue. A category, like a set, is a collection of objects. An equality relation on a set construct given any two objects A and B in the set. A proposition A equals B. Sure, that seems to be a bit of a loose remark. To specify a category, we must show how to construct, given any two objects A and B in C, a set of morphisms from A to B. Okay, so this is to be distinguished from the notion of a set, where you must, given any two objects, must specify what it means for two elements to be equal. And here in a category, you must specify for any two objects how to map one object into the other. So that's the similarity they're pointing out here. In concrete categories, the objects of C are mathematical structures of some kind, and the set CAB is the set of maps from A to B that respect that structure. So if C is the category of sets, then CAB is the category of, is the set of all functions from A to B. If it's the category of groups, then it's the category. Then it's the set of group homomorphisms and so on. Okay. We also already formalized the categories of sets and groups, I believe. So let's see if we did that. Hopefully. Maybe it's down here. Yeah, it's down here. So here is the pre-category of sets, and then we prove that the pre-category of sets is a category, and then we obtain the category of sets. So that's how it's done here, and you can see that that the morphism between sets here is specified as hom sets, but we can jump to that definition. Given two sets A and B, we obtain a set, and the set is called the underlying type of the hom set AB, but the underlying type is just the set of functions from the underlying type of the set A to the underlying type of the set B. And then there's the fact that this is a set, of course, and this is a set because the type of functions into a set is always a set. All right. So we got the category of sets going. The category of groups, we should also have it somewhere. Oops, this should be in group theory category. We have the category of concrete groups and the category of groups. I think it's a little bit early to go into that distinction. But the category of groups is just the usual definition of the category of groups. So it starts off with the large. Okay, it's formalized as a large pre-category. That's something that is specific about ACTA. It's not important. This lives in set omega instead of in a finite universe level. And this is shown to be satisfy the condition of being a category. So this that condition that equal groups are isomorphic groups, and being isomorphic is equivalent to being equal. And then you obtain the category of groups. Okay, so this is just about composition. We already saw that we have composition. Here are the axioms of a category. This is the left unit law and the right unit law and associativity. And here they say that every set S can be considered a category by setting the morphisms from an element A to an element B to be the identifications from A to B. So actually we can even do this with one types in our library. So let's I think this is a good point to start, is to turn every one type in a category, and then also every set will be a category. And these are of course the groupoids. I suppose they will at some point talk about groupoids. And I don't have a definition of groupoids yet, I think. Let's go back to the folder about category tubes. Oh, here we can actually see it. Control G. Whether we did groupoids. No, it should be listed here, but it isn't. So let's first define pre-groupoids and then groupoids using the condition of being a category, and then show that groupoids are equivalent to one types. I think that's a good way to start the day. Category theory, pre-groupoids. Title, pre-groupoids. Module, category theory, pre-groupoids. And the idea of a pre-groupoid is a pre-category in which every morphism is an isomorphism. That's the idea. Definition. So I think we can have a predicate is groupoid precat, and it starts off with a precategory. This takes two universe levels, L1 and L2. One universe level for the type of object and one universe level for the type of morphisms. We assume a precategory, L1, L2, and then we make let's say a type, but I think we should be able to make a proposition out of this. Groupoids will necessarily be contractible. Oh no, they will not be necessarily contractible. They will be one types. They can be arbitrary one types. So if every morphism is an isomorphism, that doesn't mean that every object in the precategory is isomorphic to every other object. So there may be no isomorphisms between an object. So there can be many connected components in the groupoid, but also in a groupoid you can have only, like, let's say one object but many isomorphisms on them, and then it will still be not contractible. Yeah, so there's also a notion of a discrete category, and this is what I highlighted in the book. Every set can be considered to be a category. Those are the examples of the discrete categories. So we should make a few imports. Open import foundation universe labels. This one is pretty much always there. Open import category theory, and then pre-categories, and open import foundation propositions. Oops. And note we changed the syntax about propositions yesterday with the latest pull request. We used to write the universe of propositions, but Amy is here visiting us in Ljubljana, and they helped us turn off act as primitives, and this allowed us to define prop to be the universe of propositions, which is a little bit cleaner. So I'm very happy with that change. So we should have this now. Also from category theory, we're going to import isomorphisms. Open import category theory isomorphisms. Oh, hi, Danep. Welcome to the Twitch. It takes a very different approach, but you are familiar with the ACTA categories library. Yeah, I mean, familiar I wouldn't say because I have never worked with it, but of course I know it exists, and they do everything setoid based. So definitely their library is much larger than what we have, and I must also say that that the One Lab has a fairly large library of category theory. Also with some things that are not formalized yet in ACTA categories. So yeah, there are different approaches out there. This is definitely true, and yeah, would be great to share experience about building a library of category theory. Yeah, well, welcome to the chat. Welcome to Twitch. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, so this library in particular, it's not safe in the sense that the pragma -- safe cannot be loaded, because we use, of course, postulates for the univalence axiom. So that can be considered to be a drawback, but that's the setup right now, and I live with it. It's fine. Okay, so we imported isomorphism. Oops, sorry, I was in the middle of typing that. Isomorphisms in pre-categories, I think. That is the word. And let's quickly go here. So it defines what an isomorphism is. Morphism F is an isomorphism if we can find the morphism G in the other direction, such that if you compose it in both ways, you get the identity. And here is defined what it means for a morphism to be an isomorphism. Then this type here is shown to be proof irrelevant. So that means that it is contractible as soon as there's an element. That implies that it is a proposition. So we also get is iso precat prop, and this is what we'll be using to define the property that the category is a groupoid. Let's go here. So here what we want to say is that for every two objects, x, y, object in precat C, oh, we want actually not this, we want to do pi prop. This records that that the pi type that we were about to take is a proposition. So we want to quantify over the objects twice. Lambda x. Here's once more. Lambda y. And now we want to say that we want again to quantify over all the morphisms now by prop again. Hom precat C. So this will end in set, so we will need to underline type of this morphism, xy. Now we get lambda f. And then is isoprop C F. I think that's the proposition. So this is what it means to be a groupoid, and now we can define pre-groupoid, which will take two universe levels, L1, L2, and then it outputs something. Actually, what we have to do before that is to turn this into a type. Now it is a proposition. Let's fix that. Is groupoid precat L1, L2 level. C is a pre-category. L1, L2. The underlying type of the proposition is groupoid. Oops. It's the underlying type of that proposition. So here we can just say sigma precat L1, L2 is groupoid precat. Oops, we didn't import dependent pair types. And now we can also define ordinary groupoids, which will be pre-groupoids satisfying the extra condition that they are category. So this will not go into in the file of pre-groupoids, but it will go in a new file of groupoids. Oops. Title groupoids. Yeah, so now this sentence reads very obvious. Of course, a groupoid is a category in which every morphism is an isomorphism, but then you have to be aware that in our setup, a category is a category that satisfies this rest completeness condition. That's the only catch. think I will just do the proposition again. So this will be cat prop. And should also say, meanwhile, while I'm typing, is that this book is of course not a book on category theory, so they don't go very deeply into category theory. Not even sure if they prove Yoneda or something like that. I think the way that they're gonna use it is just as an organizational, let's say, vehicle. So just to help organize the code or the material of the book. Open import foundation universe levels as always. Open import category theory categories. We need the propositions. For sure we are also gonna need sigma types, so dependent. We are going to need pre-groupoids. Open import category theory pre-groupoids. Should be enough for now. So this should be is groupoid pre-cat prop, and it should be the underlying pre-category of the category C. I think that should work. Yeah. So is groupoid cat L1 L2 level and the type of groupoids should now take two universe levels again, L1 and L2. Groupoid L1 L2 is sigma cat L1 L2 is groupoid cat. Okay. And now we can I guess we can define as a property that at least that the type of one types is equivalent to the type of groupoids. So type of one types will of course take only one universe level, L1, and the type of groupoids will take two universe levels. But because the identity type of the type of objects is assumed to be equivalent to the type of isomorphisms, which are all the morphisms in the groupoid. In particular, all these types in L2, all these home types, which are in L2, will be equivalent to something in L1, namely the identity type of the type of objects. So that should work out. This will reduce one universe level. The type of groupoids L2 is equivalent to the type of one types in L1. I think we should be able to formalize that. Oops. So the first thing we're going to do is turn every one type into a groupoid. So it's a groupoid from one type. So let's say we have a universe level. Let's open a module. Always good to open a module. L is a universe level, and X is a one type in universe level L. And we need to import that. Oops, L1, L1. Oh, sorry. Just LL. So this will be by pattern matching. So the first thing we have to do is to construct the pre-category. Then we have to show that that pre-category is a category, and we have to show that that pre-category is a groupoid. And here this this goal says that we have to construct a type of objects of this groupoid. So let's make this up groupoid. Oops. One type in L. And that's going to be the underlying type of the one type X. Objects, groupoid, one type. This is a case split again. Yeah, so here it's really showing that I'm not using records. Still stuck to using sigma types because I have so many more theorems about sigma types, and haven't really found a good setup yet. I know that there are actually now good setups where you can use sigma types and convert them to, sorry, you can use records, convert them very conveniently to sigma types, and then reason about them. But we don't have this setup in this library. Okay, so this should be the type of isomorphisms. So this should be the identity type. And it would be convenient if we have its set. Is that a thing? Yeah, that's a thing. So its set takes as an argument a one type, and then it will take two more arguments, x and y, and then it returns the set of identifications between x and y in the groupoid X. But here we just specify the family. Oh, hello NMVWVDW. Welcome. Did you consider defining builders for these iterated sigma types so that instantiations wouldn't have to be iterated projections? No, I'm not sure if I know what builders are. So yeah, if you could mention that in the Discord, then I can read about it afterwards, because I'm not sure if I heard about builders even. Yeah, so the answer is no, I haven't. But thanks for bringing that up, and if you could mention it in the Discord chat, would be grateful. Okay. Oh, to make a function like that. Yeah, this would be good. Yes. Amy also mentioned this to me yesterday, and yeah, this would essentially allow you to write as the definition make groupoids. I think we got a follow. I don't see it yet on the screen, but I heard the notification. Is my stream working actually? I don't see any movement. Maybe I'm just gonna refresh the page. One second. Yeah, it's better. Okay, sorry about that. Some problems around my connection here in Ljubljana is not always the best, especially the Wi-Fi. My computer has normal internet, but that's what I'm trying to say. Oh, apparently I forgot my meeting with Tom. I'm sorry, Tom. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, let's go. Maybe he's here now. Tom, if you're here, say hi. I'll reschedule with him. I didn't have much other times this week to stream, so this is it. Yeah, so I think these builder functions will be super useful. Then at least you don't see these iterative projections. Okay, where are we? We have to break this. This should be an associative composition structure. So this should be just concatenation. So if you have P and Q, I think P dot Q should be good, but let's import identity types just to be able to do this. Foundation identity types. Good. Oops. Oh, QP. So composition in categories goes in compositional order. So this is P and Q. This should be associative. So let's see. RQP, probably a sock. P, not P. Oh, damn it. It should be R. What? That is strange. Oh, is it the inverse? Could be the inverse. So I got a bit frustrated actually by the pad concatenation to be in this ordering because it also messes some things up in group theory. Like when you when you want to see the symmetric group on a set X, so that's the type of all types that are merely equivalent to X. And then you take the loop space of that type, and you get you get this pad composition order, but composition of equivalences is in the other way, and it's just annoying to deal with. I almost feel like just turning around the order of pad concatenation, because it's driving me a bit insane, and I don't like it. So that is the inverse of the associativity then. Here I suppose we have to say raffle. So for every object x, we go to raffle. And then the unit laws. So if you have a p, sorry, I think those are two unit laws in once. Okay, so this might be right unit. Is it left unit? Is it the inverse? Or, oh, should I have a parameter? No, I don't know, to be honest. It doesn't take an argument. Okay, now it's driving me insane. This comes from the pad concatenation to be in the wrong order. So what does this do? This wants a p. And then it wants to say, okay, so it's not an inverse. It's gonna be one of the unit laws. Let's try right unit. I think that's the law that we're looking for. Oops. So the right unit law is the left unit law of the category, and the left unit law is the right unit law. Normally in this field you would put in the left unit law, but everything is the other way around. And now we have to show that it's a category. Which is gonna be so I'm kind of tempted to put this in a separate definition, into a definition of the underlying pre-category of the groupoid associated to the one type. Then I should import pre-categories here. So it's this definition. Yeah. Let's just start again. Split. Faster now. RQP infosoc PQR. Oops. Okay, good. And now here, can remove all of this. we can just say PR1 groupoid equals the underlying pre-category of the groupoid one type. Okay. Because now we can prove separately that this is a category. I think we just assume an element X. Let's have a quick peek what the definition said again. It says that one particular function iso_ec, so the function that turns an equality into an isomorphism, that's an equivalence. So it's not just that the identity function is an equivalence, which of course would be nice. So I'm gonna give this a quick proof with the fundamental theorem of identity types. So that's the fastest way to do it. Open import foundation fundamental theorem identity types. Then this is of course just this contour total path, which is in that file about contractible types. Ah, it's not. Why is it not? So what do we have to show? We have to show that the type of objects in this pre-category, which is just the underlying one type. So the type of elements of X. Oh, this is the isomorphisms. Ah, interesting. Okay, so it's not so easy. Interesting. So what we have to do here, let's make some sketch, is to, so we have to, the type of isomorphisms in this pre-category is the type of morphisms, so identifications, equipped with a morphism in the other direction, so that the type of P from X equals Y, equipped with a Q from Y equals X, such that we have left unit law, so PQ equals raffle, and on the right QP equals raffle. We have to show that this sigma type is contractible. I think the type of all objects. So, oops. This sigma type is contractible. Okay, but that's doable. Because we can first observe that this part here is contractible. Then we get Qx equals X. Such that raffle concatenate Q equals raffle, but that's equivalent to Q equals raffle, that's contractible, so this part here is contractible. And then we have here the statement refl concat refl equals refl, which is a proposition because X is a one type, and it's a true proposition because refl concatenate refl is refl by definition. So that's then that's contractible. Okay, so there are a few steps actually that we have to do here. Which is kind of, it's a nice proof. Let's do it directly in here. I think it's fine. Is counter equiv. So this says you can show that the type is contractible by showing that it's equivalent to a contractible type. Then the type that we want it to be equivalent to is sigma sigma type 1 type x lambda y2 x equals y lambda. So now we have yp together. And then it's sigma x equals, no, sorry, y equals x lambda q2. Oops. Oh, this is pr1 yp. And then p is pr2 yp concatenate with q equals refl. Is that the best way to do it? Yeah, it's fine. Oh. Could not parse this. Maybe parentheses. And then the last bit, lambda ql to something, and the something says that pr1q concatenate with pr2yp. So that's q concatenate with p. That one is refl. Oh, ql. If I can help you with a homework. Right, so this is not really the place for help with homework. If your question is about univalent mathematics or about formalization, then I'm super happy to help you. But yeah, I have to set boundaries somewhere. So if it's about those topics, then any question goes. Then I can help you. But if it's about something unrelated to univalent mathematics or formalization, then I'm afraid not. But yeah, thank you for coming here. Okay, so now we have to construct an equivalence. Which probably gonna be associativity. I want to go the other way. I want to go the other way, I think. Yeah. Put a prime here, and that allows me to construct the equivalence the other direction. Yeah, hey Ian, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, that's a great suggestion. If you need homework, then Stack Exchange is a much better resource. All right, so we are going to compose some equivalences. We do have equivalence reasoning, but I think we don't need that here. Open import foundation equivalences. I hope the first thing is just soc sigma, so that will be in the file about type arithmetic of dependent pair types. So this is a file that just has like associativity of sigma, unit laws of sigma, and so on. There are so many of those that I just put them in their own file. Anyway, here's a soc sigma. Thankfully that gets accepted. First goal should be a type. So I think that will be type 1, type x. Then the second goal should be maybe this type here. So it's lambda y to x equals y. And the last goal is lambda yp to something, and that something is this here. I'm just gonna copy it. Oh, I tagged algebra. Yeah, I suppose. Right. I think it's fine. I was actually looking around on Twitch, and there are 0 mathematics live streamers other than me. So I don't think we should be getting too much homework questions, requests for help with homework. I think it's gonna be fine if I just say every now and then that I won't do it. Maybe it's not ideal. Is this equiv? This would be nice, but it's not. Equiv dot lambda yp. It's even not equiv. Oh no, it's not in scope. Did you see on Twitter? I even said I am the OG of Math Twitch because there's literally no one else doing it. Equiv dot is where it is functoriality, open import. Oh, if there is someone from Ljubljana, well then they can knock on my door. Yeah, I think streaming is a great idea, you know. So for tutoring too, if you have people showing up, they might find it helpful interact directly with someone that's helping them instead of just have someone type an answer for them. For now, I see this Twitch just as a computer game, and the computer game is EGDA, and the levels I'm going through are the sections of the book, and that's my approach. So I'm just basically a gamer on Twitch like any other, except that I don't have 500k followers just because I do Fortnite. What were we importing? Foundation, functoriality of dependent their types. That's where all of the good stuff is. Let's put this in parentheses so that it's nicely lined up with the other thing. So this might be another ASOC sigma. Is it? It's not. That would be too good. That would be too good. So why is it not? Why is it not a SOC sigma? Haha. If I could sneak in Fortnite for some variety. I don't know about that. I don't have Fortnite on my computer. Actually, just don't have it. Not even sure if I ever played it. I think I saw a kid of a friend playing it. But I haven't tried it myself. Okay, so what's going on here? How are these organized? So I think this is the type of... Why is this not just a cliff? Is it in SOC sigma? Also not. I'm just gonna try itglyph again. Occasionally you should just try the simplest answer. Just to... So is ISO should be the type of all these terms or these elements equipped with a proof that this holds. Oh, did I write them in the wrong order? That could be it. It could be that I wrote them in the wrong order. So that actually it should be this type here. I think that's what's going on, and I don't want to swap here. I want to change this type so that the equivalence stays simple. So I'm gonna do the swap here. And here. Then I must also do it here. And here. Oops. I hope that that was what was going on. Oops, cannot refine. Oh, help. Oh, Jesus. Why is it not a soc sigma? That should be all there is to it, just reassociating. Hey. Okay. So this type, let's just inspect it again. It is x equals, what's x equals yp? It should be PR1. Oh, hey, okay, it's just a y. So this says here that x is equal to y. Should I do another equiv dot? That could be it. Yeah, this looks better. And now a soc sigma solves the goal. Good. Okay. So we have y equals x, then lambda q to qp equals raffle, and lambda what? So q r something, and this should be p composed with pr1qr in parentheses. Yeah, I know that there is a way to get around those parentheses. I've been lazy with that. Okay. Actually, now I feel really tempted to continue this equivalence. To cut this out, I can just say is counter sigma. That's fine. This is counter total path x. So this is x raffle. So this is the center of contraction that you have to give. Now we can again say is counter sigma. Okay, so now the unfortunate thing is that this raffle here doesn't cancel anymore. So that's a little annoying. That is a little annoying. So instead what we can say is contour map is equiv. Think so? Nah. This contour equiv should be fine.
is it y equals x lambda q to q equals raffle. Why is this not accepted? Not in scope. Oh, x. Yeah, so we factored out this this y already. It doesn't appear anymore. So this is by equif dot lambda q, and then we have to show that q concat raffle equals raffle is equivalent to q equals raffle, and that's because we have equif concat prime, I think. No, equif concat. So equif concat it takes a path and an element, and then it has the equivalence of concatenation, taking one endpoint fixed. So that's what we are going to use here. The element is going to be raffle, and we are concatenating on the right by raffle. Oops. No, by the inverse of the right unit law. That's what we are concatenating by. Okay. So this goal is done. This one is by is compare total path prime, so that just allows you to do the path on the other side. And now we have to give a center of contraction, so raffle. And this here is by is proof irrelevant is prop. That allows you to conclude that an inhabited proposition is contractible. This is a proposition because we know that the underlying type is of x is a one type. I think it's called is underlying is one type one type of x raffle, and then is that it? Yeah, that's it. And here we just say raffle. Okay. Phew. I didn't think that would be this much work actually. There's probably a more elementary, more direct way to do it. I didn't quite see it immediately. And we're not done. We still have an open goal. In the remaining open goal, oh, we are done. So this is ISO ec precat, not in scope. Why is that not in scope? Didn't we load categories? Isomorphisms in pre-categories maybe? Open import category theory isomorphisms in pre-categories. Now it exists. Good. The pre-category that we are interested in is the underlying pre-category of the groupoid of the one type. And what should we specify here? Control CS. Good. Okay. So this was the proof that that the one type is a category. Let's remove that.
So now we can say is category actually also what I will do is this becomes too bulky. Is category is fine. I'll just rename that here. And there's one more thing left to do, and that is to show that it's a groupoid. So now we say is groupoid one type. That's a funny name. That is groupoid precat groupoid one type and no parentheses. So R lambda. Oh my god. Okay, X, Y, Z. Let's see what the types of those are. Oops. X is an object, Y is an object, Z is pet, so P. And let's induct on P. Let's not do that. Let's just case split. Inf P, and that's is left. Inf. Okay, so that's easy. Alright, so we turned the one type into a groupoid. And it was actually a theorem. Surprise, surprise. Not sure if I missed the last stream, but why are we doing category theory? We are doing category theory because section 1.4 in the book is about categories. Yeah, and we're just following this book. So yeah, the idea is I assume that they say whatever they need about categories that they will use later on in the book. So we just formalize it, and it's always a good habit to implement a little bit of category theory. So, but yeah, we want to get to the juicy stuff eventually. We're still in the introductory chapter, which is fine. Just building foundations, and this is good stuff to have anyway in the library, so why not? What kind of techniques are used in Acta Unimat to prove univalence of pre-categories? Are displayed categories used? No, we don't have any displayed categories. We don't have any displayed categories yet, no. So to show that a pre-category is a category, I guess still this is the main technique to apply the fundamental theorem of identity types, because what it is it's a characterization of the identity type of the type of objects in the pre-category. It says that equality of objects in the pre-category is equivalent to the isomorphisms in the pre-category between those two objects. And since it is a characterization of identity type, this we have optimized in the library. So we use fundamental theorem of identity type. Sometimes we can use the structure identity principle. Let's see where that is. Foundation structure identity principle. Which this is a very useful lemma on many occasions. It's contour total X structure. There is also direct construction of an extensionality of sigma if you know of your base type how to characterize the identity type, and you know for your type family how to characterize its identity types, and you can put those together in a nice way to construct this characterization of the identity type in the sigma type. This one is like more efficient than anything I've seen in any ECDA library. So we got stuff. There's also the subtype identity principle, which is apparently in Foundation Core. Why does this not jump to it? Because I was jumping on the wrong thing. Which does the same thing for subtypes, just to make that efficient. And also an extensionality thing immediately. So we got some stuff, and that's for now what we use. We tend to use the following kind of argument to prove it to isos and equivalence. Characterize the isos, use some standard result to identify the equality of the objects. Often it's not too bad to see that those are equivalent. Yeah, so essentially that is what we're doing. It's exactly the same, just maybe packaged differently than what you have in Cubicle or Coghot or any other univariant library, but it comes down to the same thing. Okay, so do you, I'm gonna ask this to chat. Do you want me to prove that the type of one types is equivalent to the type of groupoids, or would you like me to continue with the book? What do you prefer to see? Don't mind either way. All right, so maybe let's formalize that equivalence then. Points. Yeah, certainly a very natural thing to do. And then actually after that you can even go one step further and show that they are equivalent as two categories, but then we would have to formalize two category theory, and that's certainly not going to happen today, but maybe is some idea for the future, or for a student who wants to contribute to the library. That could be something nice to do. Okay, so what we did here now was to construct a map from one types to groupoids. Now if we want to, let's just write that up here in a 4-star header, the groupoid associated to one type. And now we're going the other way around. The one type associated to a groupoid. And I'm hoping that in the categories part, let's have a look. There is already a lemma that says that the type of objects in a category is a one type. There it is. So actually it's just this construction here that we're just gonna use directly. but then we need to turn the groupoid into a category, so let's do that up here. Module, L1, L2 level, G is a groupoid, L1, L2. So we can have the category of a groupoid. So this is, oops, this should be the underlying category of a groupoid. And we also should have the pre-category of the groupoid. I think this is just PR1 of G. No. Oh, what is PR1 of G? Oh, this is... Okay, then I'm gonna put this up. Then this is pre... Oh, this might be pre-cat. Is that a function? Yeah. So I'm gonna use the same naming convention. Oops. Just to be consistent. And that's probably good enough. Module L1, L2 level. G is a groupoid in L1, L2. And we want to construct the one type, the underlying one type of a groupoid. It's going to be an L1. I think this was the name of, oh, it's not, let's have a look. Opt get one type, okay. And this is get groupoid. Okay, so this goes the other way, that was much easier. Hi Toba, welcome. Could you turn the book to the next page while you're formalizing this thing so we can see what's about to come? I'm starting to get bored by the current page of the book. Yeah, of course I can do that. And we can have a quick look what's in there. So where are we? Okay, so this is just laws. Okay, let's just have a look at this. The sets and functions introduced in the previous section constitute the category. Sure, that's the category of sets. The idea, okay, so this is a little bit more philosophical. The idea of category theory is to forget about the internal structure of the objects and to concentrate on the way the maps combine under composition. For example, function f from a to b is 1 to 1. If a is a1 is a2 whenever a1 is fa2. This definition relies on the internal structure of the sets A and B because it refers to those elements. Not really sure if I would agree that this is really internal structure. But okay, let's go with it. And the categorical property corresponding to this being 1 to 1 is saying that so we say that f is 1 to 1 if for any g and h that map to A, we have fg equals fh. Then if we have fg equals fh, then g is h. And then we say f is left cancelable. They are also called monomorphisms. I think they'll mention that. Yeah, why don't I put this theorem on here so that you can that you can read this theorem while I'm formalizing some stuff. Is that a good idea? So okay, it's about the internal structure of a set, and here, since they're working in set theory, the elements of sets are sets themselves, and and that's the internal structure of a set in this sense of what they're writing about. So if you they don't want to refer to equality of sets, so I guess they don't want to refer to same elements, something like that. Something like that. I don't really know, to be honest. The 80s style constructive philosophy is not yet my strong point. I was barely born when this book came out. I think I was 2 years old. Right, so we have 2 more things to show that we have an equivalence. So the groupoid obtained from the one type induced by a groupoid G is G itself. Yeah, it could be. Okay, so the comment is that perhaps they intend to generalize beyond sets, and therefore we should not argue about elements of sets. And this is a large part of category theory, to generalize away so that your theorems are useful in far beyond set theory. And the other thing that we want to show is that the one type obtained from the groupoid by one type X is equivalent, or is X itself. This one sounds easier to me. This one's probably trivial. So let's start with this one. And for this one, I'm afraid that we're going to need equivalences of categories, which we don't have yet, but for sure they are also mentioned in this chapter, so so it wouldn't hurt to formalize them. Yes, we are going to start with this one. Module. L is a level, and X is a one type of level L. And then so equiv. What is it? Something like that. So what we want to say is the one type of the groupoid, and then the groupoid of the one type of X should be equivalent. Okay, but this is a one type. Let's have a look. What is there about equivalences of one types? Right. type equiv one type. So given two one types, you get the type of equivalence between them. Why is that called type equiv one type? Guess I had my reasons for it. Yeah, type checks. I'm just gonna check it. Okay, so this one is trivial. I'm glad we didn't put in any work. So yeah, what's going on here is that you start with x, you turn it into a groupoid, but the type of objects in this groupoid is the underlying type of x itself. And then you turn this groupoid into one type, but you do that by taking the type of objects in this groupoid, which is x, and then some proof that it's a one type. And that proof that it's a one type might not be the same as the proof that x is a one type, but the underlying the equivalence here doesn't care about that. It's just an equivalence of types. So this can be idequiv. This here, I fear it might be slightly harder. Oh yeah, especially because we will need we will need equivalences of categories. Do we have that already? Equivalences of categories. Oh, thank goodness, yes. Is equiv functor precat. So there's the notion of equivalences of precategories also. And ooh, yikes. Oh my god. I am not liking what I see here. Let's change that. Definitely, let's change that. So this is the homotopy non-coherent statement of what it means to be an equivalence, and that's not what we're after. Guess maybe it doesn't matter so much. It might not matter. But I still don't like it. I just don't like it. Alright, so the way to do this is to close this parenthesis here and to sigma again. Yep. Now I hope I didn't break stuff. So this is a bi-invertible functor. Now this looks much better to me. Let's check quickly categories. No, category theory. Let's quickly check that we didn't break stuff. Yeah. So this still compiles. Category theory is not overly used in the library yet. There's a bit of group theory. I guess we could check it if it still compiles. This should be relatively fast. Because we changed the definition
of equivalences, so maybe we broke stuff, but we didn't. So I'm quite positive that that we didn't break anything. Yeah, so either in a joint equivalence, what I did now is a bi-invertible functor that should also be coherent. Category theory. Where are we? Equivalences of categories. We were here, right? Yeah. Module L1, L2, level. Oh. I think we just want one universe level now. No, we want two universe levels. G is a groupoid L2. And then we want to construct an equivalence of categories, and that can take these two universe levels. But when we want to construct an identification between this this groupoid and G, so for the identification, we will need that this L2 actually is L1. Otherwise, the universe levels don't match up. But for the equivalence should be fine. So equiv groupoid one type groupoid. I think that's a decent name. We want to look in equivalences of categories. So we want to talk about equivcat. Okay, good. Oh, I need to import it, of course. Open import category theory equivalences of categories. And yeah, actually I should maybe make equivalences of groupoids, but let's start with this. So the underlying category of the groupoid, and now we can end here the same. Groupoid of the one type and one type of the groupoid G. Okay, this is what we want to do to construct that equivalence. That will be a little bit of work. So we will want to construct a functor and a proof that it's an equivalence. So I might hope that it's called functor. Functors of categories. It's probably called functor cat because there is also functors between pre-categories, so you need to be explicit. Functor cat. I need to import it, of course. And then this one is just going to be functor equiv void on type groupoid. So in base, ECDA set is pretty much just what the universe is, and sets are essentially types. Yeah. Right. So this is declared in foundation core universe. Oops. Levels. So we rename ECDA set to UU for univalent universe, and also set omega to UU omega. And because we have no import sorts now, we are free to use set again, and set is here. It is so set is defined to be the type of all types that are sets. Can I comment on the node in the universe levels file? Let's go back. Okay, so this just says that universes are called UU. It means univalent universe, even though we will not immediately assume that universes are univalent. So there's actually quite a large part, a substantial part of the foundations library that just doesn't rely on univalence, so it doesn't use it, and we still call those same universes UU. In ECDA primitive file, in this file, what should I comment about this? I don't know anything about it. Yeah, this is just basic ECDA. Anyway, did I answer your question? We can go on. Groupoids. Okay, so what do we need to do here? We need to map the objects to the objects. So that's just going to be the identity function. So it's just going to call functions. Oops, not here. So that's a good sign that this is going to be an equivalence. Yeah, our library is not safe. Martinez Cardo likes to comment on it, and because his library is also univalent mathematics, but he doesn't use any postulates, and he has, of course, his reasons to do so. It allows you to better investigate what depends on what, and here we chose to just entirely commit to univalent mathematics. So both approaches have their pros and cons, I think. Yeah. What do we need to do here? Okay, split. What is this? Okay, so we have
a morphism from X to Y in the groupoid of the one type of the groupoid of G. So this is going to be an identification between X and Y. So I think this is iso ec precat. Cannot refine. And the other thing we can do is, yeah, I don't want to do that. Okay, so let's assume P. And we have this P here. Let's normalize its type. Not in scope. Oh. Yeah, good. So P has type X equals Y. And now what we need to do is to construct a morphism in the groupoid G from X to Y. Oh, it's not the isomorphism. So iso ec returns not a morphism, but it returns an isomorphism. Do we have hom ec? Does that exist? Okay, since those functions don't exist, I am tempted to just do pattern matching and do it home. It home. Okay, but now it is slightly better to. Okay, so now what I would type is get groupoid gx. Oops. Oh, this doesn't take an x. It's implicit. But it's not so efficient. It would, yeah, sorry. It would be better if we could just write it home groupoid G. That would be cleaner. So let's put that in here. Oh, then we need to also define the type of objects. Okay, so a few things to do here is to define opt groupoid to be the opt in the category of cat groupoid. Oops, sorry. Then we have hom groupoid that goes from opt groupoid to opt groupoid to set. Hom cat. Oh, we don't need this. This should all compile. Oops. We didn't import sets. Let's see. Okay, so we should have type hom groupoid, which
this should be the underlying type. Now we can say it hom groupoid equals it hom get groupoid. So, and all these universe levels are automatic. This was just to do this. Then we will want to have composition also. Oh, here, what do we want actually? I think we want P and Q. No. We want to show that it's functorial, so it should be two things to show, namely that composition is preserved, P and Q. And I'm just gonna case split them and say raffle. Hey, how is this not raffle? What do we have to do here? Oh, it's not raffle because we are composing now the identity morphism with itself, so it's the unit law. Either of them. So now we want to say left unit law comp groupoid, something like that. But it doesn't exist, so I have to put it in. Comp groupoid xyz opt groupoid to type. Yeah, should be fine. Yeah, type groupoid yz to type groupoid xy to type groupoid xz comp groupoid equals comp get groupoid. Is anyone, just a random question, is anyone planning to attend John Baez seminar that he is advertising on Twitter? He's gonna do it online on Zoom. I was planning to come, I'm actually really excited about it. Yeah, I think it's gonna be really nice, and I've already been formalizing some of the things that he is going to talk about, of course not all of it, but Young diagrams. We have them in Acta Unimet, a univalent definition of them. And yeah, I want to see, I just want to do some of that mathematics that he does from a univalent point of view. I think it should be extremely nice project. So I was definitely planning to come. You haven't seen the link. Okay, so it's tomorrow at 3 p.m. UK time. Since you're in the northeast of the US, you have to do -5, so it's 10 in the morning for you, I think. Something like that. How about I try to find it? Thanks, Nathan, for sharing that link. I was gonna do it, but it's much better that you do it. Doesn't that work? I hope it works. Yeah, it works. F type from groupoid xy to comp from groupoid. Left unit law has the it hom groupoid and f equals f. Okay, and actually we might just finish this with the inverses. Inf hom groupoid. So we should have iso hom, no, sorry, iso groupoid. Xy opt groupoid to, I think it's in sets. Iso cat groupoid. Oops, not in scope, iso cat. Why not? Didn't we load isomorphisms? Yeah. Open import category theory isomorphisms in categories. And it's in U, okay. Yeah, and we could invert them. I'm not gonna do it right now. I think it should be okay. Now this works. Ha! Or so I hoped. Cannot refine. Why is that? I wonder why. Oopsies. So this will this is not the right type. Okay, I'm slightly confused here. Is it the inverse? Could be just the inverse, there's it. Okay, and it didn't matter which one we used here. And what is next is for any object REFL. Yeah, good. Okay, so that's the functor. Oopsies. Always just pushing random buttons. That's the functor. Now we need to prove that it's an equivalence. It's equiv functor equiv groupoid. That looks like a long name, but it says that the underlying functor of the equivalence that we're constructing is an equivalence. I think that's a good name. Is equiv functor get. Should have 3 parameters. Oops, what was that? So here is get groupoid, then groupoid one type groupoid g, get groupoid g. And what is this? This one is the functor that we just constructed. Hey, André. Else slash is your friend, it completes what you're typing. What? That exists? I'm gonna try it right now. Else slash. Oh my god. Okay, I'm doing EGDA for a couple of years now, and I didn't know about this. Thank you so much. And you know, yesterday I was doing EGDA with Amy, and they showed me that Control K. Sometimes I wanna remove the last part of a sentence, and I just selected it basically with my mouse. That's typically me. Nice. Alt slash. I had no idea about it. Okay, and apparently chat is also surprised. Thanks for telling us, André. The look on my face. Yeah, what are you gonna do? Okay, what is the goal here? Let's recall what it means to be an equivalence. Oh, right. So to be an equivalence, it means that we are by invertible functor. Hey, why is my chat suddenly disappearing? Apparently the internet connection here in Ljubljana is so bad, like the Wi-Fi, it's terrible. So my laptop just disconnected randomly, and that happens on a daily basis. So Andre, if you're listening, it's a problem. Yeah, I also have problems when I'm on Zoom calls. Sometimes just the connection is so terrible that people can't hear me. Yeah. So instead of buying this fancy cloud computer, why don't we buy a decent Wi-Fi in the building here? Anyway, let's formalize stuff here. Okay, so we need to construct the inverse functor. or rather, let's call it the underlying functor of the inverse equivalence, because the naming scheme for equivalence between types is also like that. So now we want a functor in the other direction. I was going to say in the other direction, right? So I should also actually make it in the other direction. Now we need to send objects to objects, but this can be id. Now we should assume an isomorphism, sorry, a morphism from f from x to y, and we should turn it into an equality. So that should be iso-cat, that should exist. This definitely should exist, because what we want to do here is we start with an isomorphism. It's going f from x to y. So we start with an arbitrary morphism, but it's an isomorphism, of course. So is that, yeah. And from this, we should obtain a morphism in this category here. So that's just an equality x equals y. So that's the plan. So we should just use iso-cat, and that's not defined. And that means we're gonna change that. Categories. It home cat. Set home cat. Okay. I should say iso precat here, I think, because this thing doesn't know about isomorphism unless I know. It's fine. Iso precat. This doesn't know yet about equivalences. Look here, I'm gonna use Control K. Oops. Because I don't like these imports anymore. This is what I learned from my brief episode of contributing to the standard library, that this was a good thing. But it's mostly an annoying thing. And now, oops. Now I'm removing them. It's just so messy. What am I doing? Oh, and here should be a white space. Just remove them all. Okay. And we wanted to import equivalences. And now because we removed them, we actually have the equivalences. So good. ISO ec precat cat xy, and now is category cat. Okay, so that's that equivalence, and now oh, actually I'm gonna call this just ISO ec cat real quick. No, what am I doing? Where are the isomorphisms in categories? ISO ec cat is here defined, so I shouldn't define it again. What I'm doing probably should go here. Yeah, let's put this in the other file. I think so. So I'm gonna make a module. L1, L2 level, C cat L1, L2. But I'll need to assume this C here and here. And here. I think that's okay. And I don't have my equivalents anymore. Isomorphisms. Gross. All gross. Let's get rid of it. I put in so much effort in putting these explicit imports. But I don't like it anymore. Foundation, equivalences, and dependent pair types also. Does that work? Option, Alt. Wow, nice. It works even here. That looks like a small typo. Ec ISO cat. Oops. This will go in the converse section. Hey, but now I don't need to say this actually. Why do I have this still? Yes, sorry. ISO cat C xy to x equals y. Don't need that. Map inf equiv extensionality of cat xy. That's it. Okay, this is the one that we needed. Ec ISO cat. And we are also gonna need that this preserves composition and unit laws and so on. You don't know a predicative proof.
No, so we formalized, so this we formalized already here, but it indeed uses, well, it is predicative in the sense that I do use the type of all propositions, but I don't assume that it's small. So what would be impredicative about that? Let's have a look at it. Foundation, core, no, foundation. Epimorphisms with respect to sets. No cheating with universe levels, of course not. But freely allowing myself to be to use the next universe, is that cheating? So what is this? Function is right cancelable in the category of sets if and only if it's onto. Where's the hard direction? I think this one is the hard direction, which uses prop, and the fact that prop is a set, maybe? Because this direction is easy. Yeah, if it's surjective, then it's an epi that's easy. I mean, easy, straightforward. So, not prop. So we have f from A to B, and A is in universe level L1, and B is in universe level L2, and it's because I want to be always as much general as possible. So the fibers of F are going to be in universe level L1 max L2. So that's where this is coming from. And this, yes, it's a type in the successor of this universe, but it uses the propositions in the universe where it's supposed to use. But yeah, it's using prop. But it's not impredicative in the sense that it's assuming that this prop is small. It doesn't use that, it's a small proposition. If the statement, so what is the universe level of the statement? Oops. Okay, so let's assume these universe levels L1, L2 level. Oh, typo. Because otherwise it's going to be an omega for sure. Okay. This here actually quantifies over all the universe levels. Haha. Okay, so I may do a little bit more than. Yeah. Okay, this is maybe where my impredicativity comes in. Yeah. So yeah, I assume that it is an epimorphism, like polymorphically over all universe level, and also yeah, unsurprisingly, this is the same proof that that you already knew. It's not. This is nothing new, of course. Yeah, and the reason why you want to quantify over universe levels here is that that this one is up. Yeah. But I don't know if does this really qualify as impredicative if you quantify over, because I thought impredicative means that you assume resizing. I suppose people mean different things by impredicativity. Yeah, so I think actually you could restrict this to universe level, to the successor of this universe. So this condition, and that's because every type in this universe will be small with respect to the successor universe. It will require a little bit more programming, but you can straighten this out a little bit and not use set omega, I think. Yeah, and also one interesting thing, I mean, I'm not so sure if it's interesting to you, is that I don't assume here that that A and B are sets, only that it is a epimorphism with respect to sets, so that if you have a set C and then the the precomposition function using the set C, postcomposition with respect to the set C. If that's an embedding, yeah. But anyway, so this works also for a map from. It works for like a map from the circle to the circle. Let's say the double cover. It will be an epimorphism with respect to sets in this sense. By the other result. We're getting distracted. Let's go back to the isomorphisms. What were we doing? Iso egg cat. We have now egg iso cat. What are some good references on impredicativity that aren't philosophy based? At Andre Bauer. Good, Andre, you answer the question. Groupoids. Yeah, now it works. Egg iso cat. I think here we want to do cat groupoids G. We want to have two objects, X and Y. Hey, oh, I will of course need f comma something, where we have is groupoids setting. Get groupoids is groupoid cat. Oh, let's try out this name. This will be G, X again, Y again, F. So this is the fact that F is invertible. What should we do here? The fact that it preserves composition. Okay, so yeah, this is what I said. We need a few more facts about this. So we need to show that if you compose two isomorphisms into an isomorphism and map that composition to the identity type, that is the same as the concatenation of ec iso ket of those isomorphisms. And that's true by the unit laws, I think. It's actually true because here we can easily prove it, and then the inverse is going to satisfy that law too. Right. And now why don't I start the module? X, Y, Z, object C, P, X equals Y, Q, Y equals C, and now iso get X, Z, P, Q equals oh boy, should we define composition of isomorphisms? I think we will need that. Yep. Yeah, so here what I want to say is comp iso ket, then iso ec ket yzq iso ec ket xyp. So that's the plan, but this doesn't work because I didn't define composition of isomorphisms and the fact that it results in an isomorphism again. I need to take a quick break. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Oh, and suddenly a few people joined. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. We're formalizing that the type of groupoids is equivalent to the type of one-types. And this requires some basic setup that we didn't do yet, in particular about isomorphisms in categories. So G is an ISO in the category C from Y to Z, and F is an ISO from X to Y. Then we get HOM, and I think it's underlying type HOM get C X C. Oops. So we don't need all of this. Actually, let's remove it. So this will be the underlying morphism. So we're going to define it in steps. TF. And this will be just comp HOM cat C, and now the underlying morphism of the ISO G. Oops, that doesn't exist. Okay, we definitely need to define that HOM ISO cat XY object cat C. Oops. ISO cat C XY to type cat C XY. I think it's just the first projection. HOM inf ISO cat so this will be P1, P2, F. Okay. The internet is disconnecting again. Okay, so now we can say is sec HOM inf ISO cat
cat cf, no, not c, and then inf iso cat f. This should be equal to it cat c. Oh, the type checks. That's good. So I hope this is just PR1, PR2 of is iso iso cat f. Okay. Okay, now we have some reasonable names. Good. So the underlying morphism is of course just the composite of the underlying morphisms. That's that one. Isec inf comp iso cat comp cat c things equals it cat c. So what are we composing? Hom comp iso cat gf and hom inf comp iso cat gf. That's the thing that should be the identity. This might be a good occasion to fire up equational reasoning, because that we made it very pretty. Open import foundation equational reasoning. Okay. Let's already start. Oops. Equals by
Okay, so the first thing is this one here. So this one is G composed with F composed with F inverse composed with G inverse. So first we want to reassociate. I think that's what we want to do. And so yeah, needs to happen in a couple of steps, I think. Compound cat C. CG. This is hom inf comp cat gf. This is comp cat C. And oopsies. I think that parenthesis should have been here. Yes. Oops. So this is by associativity. Hom iso cat CG. Hom iso cat CF. Hom inf comp iso cat GF. Okay, that was one step. Oops. And so next step is to reassociate this part here. Comp hom cat C. What is it? Hom iso cat CG. Now we want to say comp hom iso cat C. Two question marks. No, sorry, comp hom cat, sorry.
Okay. So this is now by app comp hom cat c hom iso cat cg or something. And here is the inverse of a soc comp hom cat c of lots of stuff. Hom iso cat cf, hom inf iso cat cf, and hom inf iso cat cg. Okay. It's a process. So now we get that this is equal to comp hom cat c things. And the first thing is hom iso cat cg. The second thing is comp hom cat c things. And the first thing is the it hom cat c. And the second thing is hom inf iso. I have an Ethernet wire in my office, but it's for my desktop, not for my laptop. Yeah, now I think I'm gonna need it, because before I was just like one screen at a time. I had Emacs open, but now it is Emacs and the PDF and OBS, and I need to check the chat. So now I'm gonna see the use, because actually you should see my setup. I'm gonna take a picture of my setup. You won't believe it. I'll share it on Discord. What is happening here? Just for fun. I'll just put it in. I'm gonna put it in off topic. I'm literally using a paper box. One for with the copier paper to hold my laptop and camera. And yeah, it's yeah. Hi, JC Practices. Welcome. Yeah, thanks for coming. How have you been? Home inf iso cat cg probably here. Yeah. So now this is gonna simplify. Comp hom cat c hom iso cat cg hom inf iso cat cg. Not so easy, but it should be this. Yeah, okay, so the equational reasoning doesn't update the call so very well. And then the last step is it get c. Oh, very nice. I'm glad you're booking some successes. Here too, in this Twitch channel, in this stream, we are going to be affiliate the next time we'll be streaming. So I'm very excited about that because we hit all the milestones. I was quite amazed, like the number of followers needed, the number of average numbers of viewers during any time in the streamers should be 3, and I thought when I started that I would talk to 0 people, but that's not at all the case. So yeah, we're gonna be affiliate, Twitch affiliate, very soon, and I think next time I'm streaming we'll be celebrating something. It really feels good to make that kind of progress on Twitch, especially when you're not at all expecting anything from it, you know. I thought, okay, I'm just gonna stream formalization. Who knows whether it will be interesting to people. And yeah, it seems to be working out so far. And the most important thing is I'm enjoying it. TikTok is next, yeah. So I haven't found a good way to make nice short clips of this. But yeah, definitely should think about how to edit these videos so that that they can be nice funny moments. They always do good. It will require makeup. Maybe. maybe. Is sec hom inf iso get cg. So that's that one. Here we are playing app again. Comp hom get c hom iso get cg. I think Andre just wants to see me in makeup for some reason. So that's and then this is the last one. Oh, is this the last one really? Yeah, so where I cancel f. Okay. So this will be app comp hom get c hom iso get cg, like always. App again. Comp hom get prime, does it exist? No. Okay. Lambda h2 comp hom get c h something, and the something is hom inf iso get cg, and then it will be is sec hom inf iso get c. That's the proof. What did we do? Oh, we proved that the composite of an ISO has a section. And then if we do that, it's a retraction, then we can then we can prove that it's an ISO. Is rather home comp iso cat. Is that what the name is? Is it home inf? Oh yeah, that makes sense. So the inverse of the composite is a retraction. That's what it says. Okay, just a bunch of stuff. Control W. Now we want to say that comp home get c two things equals it home get c. And those two things are home inf comp iso get gf and home comp iso get gf. And it's gonna go on the next line. So here again, equational reasoning. And it's gonna be a similar process. Just a bunch of equalities. So the first one is just this. So now we have F inverse composed with G inverse composed with G composed with F, and we should do the same kind of reassociations. So this should be comp home cat C. This is home inf iso get cf. Comp home cat c home inf iso get cg, and then home comp iso gets gf. So this is by associativity. See, let's put that on a new line also. It's gonna be too much on one line. Home inf iso get cf. Oh, typo. Home inf iso get cg and home comp iso get gf. Oopsies. Right. So now we want to say that this is the same thing as comp home get c something something. This here is home inf iso get cf. This here is comp home get c of stuff. Home inf iso, no, sorry, another comp home get c. Home inf iso get cg. Home iso get cg, so those are gonna cancel later. And home iso get cf. And this is by app comp home get c home inf iso get cf. then the inverse of a soc comp hom cat c. Of a bunch of stuff, so I'm gonna put this on a new line because it's never gonna fit. Hom inf iso cat cg, hom iso cat cg, hom iso cat cf. Okay. So this will now be equal to comp hom cat c hom inf iso cat cf, and then here comp hom cat c it hom cat c and hom iso cat cf. So that's by app of comp hom cat c hom inf iso cat cf. And now app again, lambda h to comp hom cat ch hom iso cat cf, and then is retur hom inf iso cat cg. Oops, equals by question mark. Now we can simplify comp hom cat c hom inf iso cat cf hom iso cat cf. Oops, this is going to work. This is by app. Oops. And this is a left unit law. Of that one. And this is now it hom cat c by the is retur hom inf iso cat cf. Okay. So now we get is iso hom comp iso cat. What is it? X, Y, Z, object cat C, G, iso cat C, Y, Z, sorry, I'm slow, F, iso cat C, X, Y, to is iso cat C, hom comp iso cat gf. This is the inverse hom inf iso get gf. Why is this not working? Oh, hom inf comp. Okay. And this one should say is sec hom inf iso. Oh, sorry. Comp iso get gf. And this one is rather hom inf comp iso get gf. And now we finally get comp iso get xyz object get c to iso get cyz to iso get xy to iso get xc. Gf equals this is the underlying homomorphism and the fact that it's an isomorphism. Okay. Alright. So we composed isomorphisms. Why were we doing this again? Guess I had a reason for it. Oh. Yeah, the reason was this. So now we can state this. And I think we should still prove unit laws for this before we can prove it. Let's at least see that we can state it with orange. Oop. Should I say C here? I should say C there. No. No, iso egg is defined right here. Cool. Oh, this is in C. Okay. But we cannot prove it yet because we first should prove that composition of isomorphisms in a category satisfies unit laws, which isn't too shabby. It's just more stuff to prove. But yeah, we seem to need it in order to to prove that the type of groupoids is equivalent to the type of one types. Actually, quite some basic stuff going into that fact. But actually that's nice, you know, because when we're proving a fact like that the type of groupoids is equivalent to the type of one types, even if we don't have an immediate use for it, what we've been doing now is to update the library of very basic things in category theory, categories about isomorphisms. That will definitely be useful. So even if we don't end up using this equivalence about groupoids and one types, it's still gonna be very useful for sure to
just because we have put in more basic facts in the library that are for sure going to be useful. Okay, but I am running a little bit out of steam. I think I'm gonna continue for 20 more minutes, even though we might not complete our goal here. But then I will call it a day. Let's see how far we get though. It'll be nice to at least prove this fact here that that this map here preserves isomorphisms, preserves composition. Yeah, so here, if I would do an induction on P, let's say. Please let me do an induction. Oh. Yeah, we're not gonna make those explicit. That's just dumb. Oops. So now here you see, okay, so this is by definition Q here in the bottom. And this here is by definition the identity the identity isomorphism. So we need to know that if we compose by the identity isomorphism using the definition that we just made, that satisfies unit laws, and then we can prove this fact. So that's a little annoying, but let's do it. Let's say the groupoid laws for composition of isomorphisms in a category. This is what we need to do here now. So the left unit law, we're gonna prove the right unit law eventually, not today. Oh, the right unit law is the one we need, so that's the one that we'll do today. Associativity. There will be left inverse law, and there will be a right inverse law. Oh, and actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna, okay, I'm still gonna try to prove this and show you guys how it's done. And then I'm gonna push it to the main repository of Acta Unimet, and I'll invite you to prove these other cases, to prove the left unit law, to prove associativity. I think that will be very nice. If there's someone interested in proving these laws after I show this one, then you guys can help me with this. Yeah, I think that will be a great idea. If you like the idea, you of course don't feel obliged to do it. So let's stay in this same module. I think this is a module where we assume a category and we define a composition. I'm gonna stay in the same module. So I'm gonna say right unit law comp iso cat. So the naming scheme, I'll put it here, will be left unit law comp iso cat. This one will be called soc comp iso cat. This one will be called inverse law comp iso cat, and this one will be called right inverse law comp iso cat. So there are all the names, so you don't have to come up with with names anymore. Right, so we have objects x and y. Oh, did I make a typo? Left unit law comp iso cat should have. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Andre. Object cat C. F is an isomorphism in the category C from X to Y. And then we want to say that comp iso cat, it's going to be right unit law, so it will be F on this side, and it iso cat, oh, that's probably with a C right here, equals F. And I might just characterize equality for isomorphisms, just because it's useful. Let's just check that I didn't already do it. No, I didn't. So this EQ is usually written with, when it's observational equality, is written with capitalized E for some reason. I don't know why. So this is the only thing I'm somewhat inconsistent with, is with capitalization. But I'm consistently inconsistent, so it's fine. Okay, so let's say we have two objects. We have, now we have iso cat cxy to iso cat cxy to uu something. Iso cat fg equals something. So we want to say, what does it mean for two isomorphisms to be equal? And we say their underlying morphism should be equal. Iso cat cf equals hom iso cat cg. It's reflexive. Total space is contractible. xy object cat cf iso cat cxy 2 is counter sigma iso cat cxy ec iso cat cf. I should import contractibility. Contractible types, and I'm gonna import also the subtype identity principle, because that will be the fastest way to prove this contractibility. Ec iso cat doesn't have a C. Sorry, not. I want to say is counter total x subtype. So this is just is counter total path f, I think. It's not help. Why is it not? Okay, so we have to take a look. Oh, it's not that. It is hom iso get cf. So it is contractibility of the total space of pad space, but using the underlying morphism of the isomorphism. The next thing is we have to show that being an isomorphism is a property. So is prop is iso hom cat is probably a thing. Did I prove it later? Here, I proved it here, which means that I'm just gonna quickly move this up because we all need it. Did it? Examples. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna start the properties here. Does this work? Ah. Now we're not in the same module anymore, so. So it probably means we have a, oops, a few more typos. See. Oh, that was not bad at all. So here we wanted to use that is prop is iso hom cat. Wait. Oh, is iso cat. Okay. Strange. That's not the name that I thought it would be. Now we have to give a morphism from x to y. So that doesn't print it very clearly, but this is hom iso get cf. We have to prove REFL. We're basically done here. And then is iso hom iso get cf. So that's that. Now we can say ek iso get xy obj get cf iso get cx y f and g to f equals g to ek iso get fg. REFL equals REFL ek iso get f. Oh, wrong equals sign. Hey. Oh. Okay, and now we can say that this map is an equivalence. Is equiv ek iso cat xy obj. Why don't I put this f in here? Xy obj get c. F is an iso. So this becomes a little simpler. We don't need to assume f. Then this becomes a little simpler. We don't need to assume f. This is just stat contractibility. That's that. for every G, an isomorphism, this map that we constructed here above is an equivalence. I'm not gonna assume the G because I'm gonna assume some of my other trickery. Oops. Yeah. We're gonna import the fundamental theorem of identity types. And it would be helpful if I don't make typos. Oop. Like that. So this is counter total ec iso cat. Oops. And this map here ec iso cat. That's it. So now we have extensionality. G iso cat. CXY to F equals G ec iso gets G. This is now the equivalence. And a proof that this is an equivalence. And the converse. Ec iso cat. Ec iso gets G to F equals G. Map inf equiv extensionality iso get G. Okay. This is the one that we are going to use to prove these laws. So let's put it in here. Ec iso cat. Cannot refine. Help. Why not? Oh, because we are now in the same module. I think we should not be in that module anymore. So, you know what? I'm gonna open that module here so that you can start your proof here. And that this can be in that module. I think that will be helpful. Yeah. Okay, so now we have to provide isomorphisms. This will be F. Oh, it's the composition, of course. Here will be F. And then the underlying, yeah, so this is just gonna be the right unit log comp hom cat C of the underlying morphism of F, so that's it. Okay. Just arrange this nicely. And yeah, so this is how you prove such an equality. So the other laws can be proven similarly. You use this function, you just give those arguments that those are the same as the left hand side and the right hand side of the equation, and then you just use the same law but for composition of homomorphisms in a category of more, so the more general one. So this is very easy to fill out these. And it's 7:30. Sorry, it's 5:30 here. I will call it a day. Thank you all so much for joining today and keeping the chat alive and keeping me awake, helping me. And yeah, it was a great stream. See you all. I think I will be back on Sunday because the rest of this week I'm not gonna stream. Because I'll be working with Amy on the hydrocarbons, and then we won't be streaming that. I'll just stream stuff from the book. Also, yeah, if you have time tomorrow, there's a very nice seminar by John Bias, which some of us are going to attend. It's on Zoom, everybody can join, so this will be nice, and see you either on Sunday or on Monday. Thank you all, bye bye.